Blessings and bless up everyone. Now in this video we are going to be expressing how we feel about an incident that occurred in Clarendon this morning. Now, just to make it clear, there are some things that are happening in our country that we are not satisfied and we're not happy about. And as a matter of fact, the fact that we're not so pleased with these things that are happening, especially to our children, and as a matter of fact, we're not going to be only focusing on children, we want to focus on humans. Because at the end of the day, we cannot say we're complaining or we're having an issue with children being treated as a particular way, when at the same time, adults, be it male or female, are being treated unfairly. Their lives are being snatched away. Their lives are taken away, sometimes for no reason at all. Let's hear what the Bible says about children. And if we desire to be like God at any point in our lives, we have to do the things that He requires of us. Now, this is what the Lord said about children, or the Word of God rather says about children. Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord. The fruit of the womb is a reward. Now, if the Lord feels special, thinks that children are special, we also as individuals should believe and accept the fact that children are important and that children are special. If there are no children, that means there will be no future, because in the end, all adults at some point, we were children, right? Adults were children before they became adults. No one was born this morning and then in the space of a few hours they became an adult. No. We have to respect our children. We have to love and appreciate them. We have to let them know also that we love them. We have to let children know that they are important. We should let children know that they're special. Children should be respected. And children should know that they have rights too. And their rights must be respected and protected. Children have a right to life. And in today's society, we're seeing where a lot of people don't respect the lives of the children. Now, in light of the incident that took place in Clarendon, we're going to be hearing from some little ones, and they're going to be expressing how they feel about the situation.
I feel bad because no good person should get such a bad thing.
So he just said that he feels bad because no good person should get such a bad thing happening to them.
Even if it was a bad person, that should not happen to them.
Thank you very much. So I really like the point that this speaker pointed out, because he said that even if the person is a bad person, such things should not happen to the person. So right there and then, this person is saying that forgiveness should be meted out to the individual, even if they're a bad person or he or she is a bad person. So no one deserves such cruelty. No one deserves such thing happening to them. And if a child, if a youngster, if a 9 years old can say such thing, then as a people, as a country, we need to look into ourselves. Yeah? We need to look into ourselves and see how we live, see how we treat each other, see how we treat the children, see how we treat our brothers, our sisters, our families. So we have speaker number 3. Speaker number 2 who wants to speak to us. Go ahead.
I feel bad that happened to them because it will feel very painful. It would be very painful for the other family, I will feel bad if that happened to my family because it, I, it,
So speaker number 2 is putting herself together. She's trying to put her words together. And as you realize in the way she's speaking, it's really bad. It's really sad. And they're just trying to express themselves how they know to.
I'll feel bad if that happened to my family because I would never see them again.
That's it? Okay, thank you very much, speaker number 2, for your point and for expressing how you feel and how you'd feel if it should have happened to your family. God forbid.
I feel bad for them to get happen
Why do you feel bad?
because to that not to be.
I feel bad because that should not happen to anybody at all.
So we have heard from little one number 4 basically. And I agree with him, that shouldn't happen to anybody at all. Whether you're a bad person or a good person, however you're viewed, that should not happen to anybody at all. So this other little one wants to let us know how he feels about the whole situation.
I feel bad because that should not happen to any of the family.
Thank you very much. Next person.
I feel bad because this slash. I feel bad because that happened to the family.
And do you think something like that should happen to anybody at all?
No, miss.
Okay. But then again, why should that not happen to anybody at all? What if they're a bad person?
If they're a bad person, they still shouldn't do it.
They still shouldn't do it. Okay. And why is that so?
If they had been something bad, they don't have to do that, miss.
They still don't have to do that to the person. Okay, thank you very much for your take on that and for expressing yourself.
I am very sorry because I don't want anything to happen to any other family.
So this speaker made a very important point, and I'm going to ask him to repeat so that what he said can be made clearer. Go ahead for me.
I am so sorry because I don't want anything to happen to any other family.
So basically he's saying he's sorry about what happened. He's also sad about the whole situation, and he's saying that he don't want or he would not want that to happen to any other family. And I think these are some good points that these little ones are making. I mean, that should never have happened in the first place. And so for him to be saying that he don't want or he wouldn't want it to happen to another family, I think that's a good take and that's a good stand that he have taken on the situation.
I feel very bad because I don't want that to happen to my family.
Very good point. He does not want this to happen to his family, and no one would want this to happen to their family. No one in their right minds, at least, because there are some people out there who are crazy, you know. We have some very insane people out there, and it's not like we're bashing anybody, because sometimes things happen to people that they're not really conscious of. Things do happen, they don't go out there and go crazy on their own. So it is situations and circumstances that cause people to go crazy. And so when they're crazy, you will do crazy stuff. And so we just have to pray and trust God that this will not reach our family. Because sometimes, you know, we see these things happening around us and we play a blind eye or deaf ears to these things. And it doesn't hurt as much until it hits home. Sometimes it is when it is at our doorstep that is when we start feeling the hurt and the pain. And that is when we start realizing how terrible these situations are. So we just have to pray. Let me hear what the other person has to say. Go ahead, speaker, and tell us how you feel about the situation. Go ahead.
I feel bad.
So that speaker, he may not be able to expound much on the whole matter, but at the same time, he's letting us know that he's not pleased. He's feeling bad about the whole issue, the whole situation.
I feel sad because their mom passed away and them children.
So you feel bad because the mother and the children has passed. But do you think that this has affected their family? How do you think it has affected their family? How do you think the family feels?
Maybe sad.
The family may be feeling sad. So they feel sad and what?
Want to cry.
They feel sad and they may want to cry. Because of course when we're sad, one of the things that we do is cry.
I feel bad because no one deserves such a bad thing.
So this one is saying she feels bad because no one deserves such a bad thing happening to them. So what I'm going to ask you, like I would have asked others, what if the person is a bad person? What if the children were being rude to other families in the community? What do you think? Should they deserve such a thing happening to them? Speak up. Should such a thing happen to anyone whatsoever?
Feel bad because
Why do you feel bad? Oh, you don't want it to happen to your parents. So what about your other family members? You don't want it to happen to your parents and your brother. So basically you're saying you don't want such a thing to happen to your family. Thank you.
I feel sad because I don't want to happen to others people.
So this one is saying he feels bad about the whole situation, or he feels sad about the whole situation and he doesn't want it to happen to anybody at all. Thank you. How do you feel about it?
Miss, because they were children and parents, miss.
Children and parents. So how do you feel because it was parents and children? Are you excited? Are you happy about it happening?
No, miss.
So how do you feel?
Miss sadness, miss, because it could be us, miss.
Very good. It could be you guys. So you're sad about it. So do you have a message? Do you have anything you would love to say to these people who are going about treating children this way? What do you want to say to these people?
Stop treating the people badness.
Stop treating people bad.
Yes, yes.
Anything else?
Miss, and stop beating the kids, miss.
Stop beating the kids. Anything else?
Miss, me not say them stop beat the kids, you know, miss. Miss, when they do wrong, they can beat them, miss, but they enough beat them if they not wrong, miss.
Okay. Anything else?
They kill, miss them, beat them and kill them.
They beat them and they can kill them in this. Okay. So you're saying that children should not be getting any beating. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So these boys are letting you know that the children should not be getting beating. And as we know, in our schools especially, we do not practice corporal punishment. So we don't hit children. We're not supposed to hit them. And so I guess this is where the children are coming from. Do not hit the children. And if they can feel such terrible way about children being, if a child is gets hit by someone, I can only imagine how they feel about knowing what happened or hearing about what happened to those 4 children and that mother in Clarendon. It's a sad situation, and the most we can do right now is to just pray for the rest of the family. We don't know who did it. We don't know what could have caused such an individual or individuals. We don't know how many persons did it. We don't know what could cause them to do such a thing. And so we just, like I said, we just have to pray. We just have to pray and ask the Lord to help us. And these things, they're coming like so close and closer to us. Back, in a few months, even a few years ago, we would have heard about these things happening in other countries. But now we're seeing it, we're hearing it happening in our own country. So while we heard about it back in other countries and we say, oh my God, but now it is coming closer to home. So we have to just trust, no matter how careful we are, we can't do it on our own. We have to trust and believe in God and ask Him to protect us and ask Him to help us not to do these things too, because things do happen. Things do happen, and we don't want to find ourselves in such a position where we end up being the victim, or we end up treating the victims in this kind of way or in this kind of fashion. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for listening to what the little ones had to say.